Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Pause Window Cleaning, and I kind of want to answer a question that has been kind of on my mind the last couple of weeks, last couple months, kind of getting like kind of like a vibe from people, and essentially, am I ashamed to be a window cleaner? Now, to answer that simply put, not even close. I am super happy that I'm a window cleaner. It's the best job, I think, in my circumstances that, it's an awesome job that I can have my own scheduling, my own clients, my own pricing. I can pretty much like make the company the way that my wife and I think it should look like, if that makes sense. Like, we wanted to get a truck, we got a truck. You wanted to wrap it, we wrapped it. That was our decision. Now, there's other companies, especially in my area, that have vans. Nothing wrong with that. That's the way they conduct business, right? And others, they were like me. They had like a RAV4, or like a car that, that was not like, a professional car, but, it got the job done, right? So the reason why I'm asking that question about, am I ashamed to be a window cleaner? Like, why do I say that? In the past, window cleaning was, again, not everyone, but the reputation that it had was that pretty much it was just for lunch money, beer money, Bucket Bob, all those funny expressions. I actually saw Bucket Bob the other day. It was kind of funny. I was like, oh yeah, they still do exist even after COVID. But yeah, it was just like, this type of business where, it wasn't the greatest reputation, and some people were going to college or something like that, and they were kind of just doing this on the side. So obviously this was not like their main focus. So it didn't have the best of reputations. And so, I actually see it the other way around, that this is a great opportunity to change people's minds. Now, why do I say change, or how do I say change people's minds? Well, in a sense, I'm not even joking. There's like a handful of times that I go to people's homes, like even recently in the last couple years, that I explain to them our water fed process, our water fed system, the brush and everything, that it's not a pressure washer, but overall it helps to clean the windows better. They don't believe me, but then after it's done, they're like, wow, that actually exists, like a process like this, and they see the results and they love it. They're like, wow, this is so amazing. So like stuff like that, people are starting to realize like, oh wow, this is like a legit business. And another thing too, a lot of times, like I'll go in there and I'll give them a price. Like they'll be like, oh, I want these windows done. And I'll be like, well, this is the price. And they're like, oh man, like my last guy did it for like $100, which is fine, whatever. I don't know if they still are working, but they did it for like $100. And I was like, man, like that's really cheap, right? And so they see now in their perspective, they're like, wow, this guy is like super expensive and this other guy isn't. But yet again, I always say have like a social media and show them your videos and stuff, and they're gonna say, oh, now I see that, there's a reason for that. And now there's the thing is that there's always gonna be people with extra money to spend on a service like window cleaning, that in a sense, it's a great way to like change the mindset of having people like think of window cleaning being an awesome job, right? Like obviously I'm not trying to say for you to like now become a window cleaner if you're not a window cleaner, but in a sense, awesome job for us to provide a service for another individual. So like, for example, there's a balance, right? You don't want to just be telling everyone that you're a window cleaner and you want to do their windows, right? But there's a balance, like if people have like an opportunity and be like, hey, what do you do for work? Oh yeah, I do window cleaning, this and that. They might be like, oh, like, yeah, window cleaning. But you could just be like, yeah, I do window cleaning, and it's been great. My schedule's fully booked. I do residential. Like in my case, I do residential all the time. I have the best of clients, and sometimes they even give me like, you can always say like a food or a snack, but you can also say like some tips, like, oh, like this one individual, they traveled the world and they said that this is a place that they must visit, and maybe that's my next destination, but yet when you start talking about it confidently, that's a thing too, because in the past when you would see like a window cleaner that was like a Bucket Bob, nothing against them, but they always are going to go with the cheapest price, right? So their value of their service is not going to always be the best, right? But yet if you like were to price a certain way and whatever, and you say like, this is what I offer for this price, then people are gonna be like, oh, interesting. So that's why that question, like, and not that people have, said that if I'm like ashamed of being a window cleaner, but like it's something that I kind of been noticing that a lot of people have been, kind of just, I don't know, just see that window cleaning is not a great job, and I think it's like the best job. I mean, you can always work for a company and then, you know, start your own business in that sense. But man, I think it's the best job, man. It's awesome. Like, for example, like today, I did a job. I was gonna do a job today. Unfortunately, the individual was sick and was like really sick, and I just said, okay, no problem. You know, I don't mind that at all. And then what I ended up doing was rescheduling her for another time. And then I decided to say, hey, I want to make a video for you guys. You know, so stuff like that is pretty cool. You know, obviously too, what helps to not be ashamed is to like have like cool stuff like shirts and like a car, a wrap, like your tools and all that. So then it's like, you know, you want, I love that feeling when someone thinks like, oh, window cleaning is like not a great job, and then you just show up and you're like, whoa, like that's your car? Whoa, that's all your equipment? Wow, it's all clean, it's all nice. Yeah, I like to, you know, not show off, but I want to show that, you know, we're a legit business, right? Of course, my wife and I are an LLC and all that, but I like to show and kind of prove to people that like the way we look and everything, I'm not ashamed at all to be a window cleaner, you know. And yeah, in the beginning you're gonna be like, you know, I'm doing window cleaning, you know, you had like the basic tools and everything, but being confident in window cleaning, I might do another video on that, but you know what, I might do a video about that, being confident in window cleaning, but that's another thing. But once you like show like and have that confidence, like, wow, this, you know, this company is like legit, you know, and he's like, you know, ready to go and everything. Yeah, it's an awesome field, man. You don't know how many times like you go to these individuals' homes that they have huge homes and, you know, nice properties. Yes, you know, not everywhere is going to have that, but most places will. And, you know, you can always offer the service to them. And then once you get into that community, then they're going to be like, wow, this is that. So like all the time, like today they have like, what was it, next door? Like the lady I was going to do today. Very nice and everything. And obviously she understood that maybe it's best, even though I was doing outside windows, I had to go inside to take off some screens. It was probably best not for me not to do the job. But it was kind of just like, oh, okay, well, you know, I feel bad that you're not going to be able to do the job today, but I'm going to write it on Nextdoor and say if anyone needs a window cleaner that, you know, I'm a good window cleaner and all that, which was very nice of her to do. But again, that confidence and all that, I'm like happy. Like if I go out and you know, I'm at a restaurant with my wife and, you know, someone's like, oh yeah, like what do you do for work? You'd be like, oh yeah, I'm a window cleaner, you know, and this and that. Oh, wow. You know, so that's why I'm saying like, that's kind of what I want to make this video about, is that, you know, it's an awesome job. I don't regret it whatsoever. I wish I would have started sooner, to be honest. I'm just very grateful that everything worked out accordingly for me to be a window cleaner. But, you know, it's just an awesome job. There's a lot of, you know, young ones now that are like 16 years old that are reaching out to me, and they're trying to, you know, be a window cleaner one day, asking for advice. I try my best to answer your questions. Hopefully you guys are watching. But you know, it's really nice to see how different the community has changed. And like even people when they see us on Instagram or other window cleaners on Instagram, man, I must say I'm following you, a couple of you guys on Instagram and on YouTube. You guys are doing an awesome job. I'm really like super happy that you guys are doing like this, like, you know, showing that window cleaning is an awesome job, like pressure washing. And a couple of you guys too offer pressure washing, or and window cleaning, or just do pressure washing alone. You guys are like rocking it. You guys are doing awesome, just like showing how awesome this field is. And you know, it's something. So this girl is trying to trying to learn how to drive and almost like kind of hit my car. That's kind of funny. But anyways, so yeah, you know, that's what I love about this like community that we have with window cleaning, with pressure washing. I'll even throw in pressure washing, I don't mind. But you know, it's really changing the industry, and I really see that this is gonna be like, this service-based industry is only gonna get better. I can only imagine, like, man, water fed was, you know, invented, you know, who knows how long ago. And now what's going to be the next thing? You know, what's going to be the next revolutionary thing that's going to make window cleaning another step better, right? And so like right now, window cleaner resource, they now have, you know, brushes that are like $100 for boar's hair. That is awesome. That's a steal. Like that's a great like tool to have, right? With your water fed. Before it used to be like $200-300 and all this other stuff. So again, you know, the future is only going to get better. So again, I know I kind of keep going over and keep repeating myself. Am I ashamed of being a window cleaner? Absolutely not. I'm actually like super happy going forward of all these different things that can happen in the future. You know, like I love meeting new people. You know, I get to go to their homes, my wife and I, and you know, it's nice to, you know, just get to an understanding of how like people are, and you know, just seeing how things are in life. You know, like another client of ours the other day told us about like, you know, just things in general. It's just I really love this field very, very, very much. And I guess to wrap it all up, the image that we portray also shows the work that we do, right? Obviously reviews and our social presence does help a lot, but you know, just to get that barrier, like when people like want us to do a window job for like $100, I'm like, no, our minimum is way more than that. And they're just like, oh, but this and that. Okay, well then go with them. And that's the thing I love too, is just to be able to be confident too with the pricing. But anyways, I'm gonna do another video about being confident in window cleaning. I might even do it right now, but I'll do it for like another video, but for another day. But I might do it right now, just being confident in window cleaning and how to build that confidence. So if you want to follow that, don't forget to subscribe, and then you'll have that video coming out very soon. Yeah, if you've made it this far, I know I mentioned it already, don't forget to subscribe, but also like and comment anything too. Are you ashamed of being a window cleaner? I would hope not. You know, I would hope for you guys to be, you know, enthusiastic and happy to be a window cleaner. And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.